Yo guys, what is good? As here with another Exoseries video, and today we're going to talk over some of the features that got recently introduced and see if they're worth it right now, or are they kind of a money grab? Before we start, however, if you haven't subscribed yet, check the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, it's free, and you will not miss my future content, so just do it. Alright, let's head to the intro. Okay, so the new features that we have. Let's start with the die system. I've played a little bit around with it because I was like, okay, cool. It's a nice feature that I want to see in the game, but I know it costs money. This is probably the most interesting feature when I say, is it worth it? Is it a money grab? Because obviously it is. Like, it costs literally money without giving you a benefit, which is like grabbing money. However, the implementation makes this feature kind of bad. So first of all, like this, when dying, the unlocked area changes to a random color. I don't know if it's just me. I might be stupid. I ignored this. I read the system. I ignored this line for whatever reason. I went, clicked, nothing changed. I'm going into preview. I'm like, sweet, can look like Super Sailor Girl. Awesome, I want this. How? Click, lock. Okay, reset. Already reset. Okay, so what to do? Die. Oh. Okay, so it takes my tokens away and I get random colors. I mean, it says it, so it's my fault. But then I was like, oh, cool, so can I change them now? Because I thought it just unlocks, like the unlocked area changes to a random color. I don't know why I thought that unlocked means I need to unlock these, because a lot of the areas in the game have that. So then I'm stuck with this color. So I got this color. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it doesn't look that bad, but I like this black theme, like what the original theme is, way more. So then I want to reset, and it costs another token. And I'm like, come on. This is harsh. Okay. I ended up resetting it because it looked shit. And I could have ended up with something worse like this. I despise this. I don't like it. Maybe the red would have been sweet, but there's a bunch of these brownish colors where I'm like, come on, like, does this look so much different from each other? Where I'm like, yeah, that's not good. This definitely a money grab, because these tokens cost like 20 zes a piece. You can only buy them in 5, 50 and 100. So you don't even get some sort of discount when you buy like 100 of them. Nope, straight up 2000 zes. And 2000 zes, if somebody doesn't know how the game currency works, and 5000 zes, 5000 crystals is $50. So that's where you basically are like on the cheap end. You're like maybe at $30. On the high end, you could be looking at $50 for resetting them and changing your skin. And the worst part is, you can like get from this shark to this shell gray to this tuna to this lime spruce over and over again, because there is no rotation system. You won't go like, okay, so there is like in strings, you will land on the color. You might get lucky and get the sweet Carrera color right out of the gate. Awesome. You can lock it and do the other colors that you want. Like, these are not necessarily that important, but you might also never get it in your 100 tries. Money grab, extraordinaire. I can't be too mad because there is no reason to do it other than you want your hero to look different. So the next feature we're looking at, and I try to make this concise to not drag out the video too long. I've played around with the feature, and you might wonder, oh, where did all your gear disappear? Didn't you have like 450,000 and were like telling everybody how much your Otard can hit for? Yeah, I used to, and then I awakened her, and obviously my gear was consumed. And I wanted to see, like, if anything remains, so the weapon remains, which is great. And I wanted to see if those kind of stats get carried over in some way. And as you can see, nothing gets carried over from these stats unless you eat something that increases those stats. So for, I think for Rara, I cannot even do it. Or can I? I can. So her dodge would be increased. So it literally only takes those values from the set and ignores everything else. Again, it's a reading thing. The game doesn't lie to you or something, so I don't want to make any claims that the game lies to you. No, the game is very specific about what you can get. And I'm not mad. I did this on my own accord, so don't think that I'm salty about that. So then I was like, okay, this is stupid because literally everything is locked. I cannot use any of my regular faded gear. Again, they said that, so I knew that already. And we only have 2 pieces available. And I'm literally thinking here, why? What is the purpose of this feature right now? Because if I have an attacker, I need them to crit. I need them to have high hit. I want attack speed. Because I need to make my units follow a certain order. If I don't have those slots available, I'm losing the ability to play with 8 speed. Doesn't sound like much, but it makes the difference between my Otard going first or another unit, which I might or might not want. At this moment, this feature is a pure money grab. Why do I say that? While the feature is explained all over, like, and I did this on science purposes. I've seen so many people on Facebook, on the Discord being like, yeah, I did this, but kind of I'm regretting it now because there is no gear. Like, I can't even equip blue gear because it doesn't exist. So, and I want to go back, and you go back with 500 Zes, which I purchased for this exact reason, in the hopes that, oh cool, maybe I get my gear back. You can use currency to unawaken hero, right? Destroyed armor will not be restored when you unwake the hero. So what is the point for the unawakening? Because right now, I have to build up all the gear back again. For what? Why do I want to unawaken my hero after I awakened them? Because technically, if the gear was available, there wouldn't be a reason to do that. So they intended this, like, on purpose. Because you cannot tell me that once I awaken a character, I want to go back. Why is there no feature to remove enhancements or transcendence on my hero? The reason for that is it shouldn't be done. They put this in because they knew people were going to try it out and mess it up. This is calculated 100%. So, is there any character this is worth doing on right now? So I've seen a bunch of people doing this on their Garf with a full fire set. Fire set gives you 5000 HP, and this bumps you up to 13,600 HP at my level, plus Garf's 20%, so that's another like 2,600, so 15,000 HP. Some people with higher level Garfs can get up to 20,000. I want to put this into perspective. So you have, let's say, 15,000 HP Garf, right, at my level. So I do this right now. 15,000 after command with 2,300 defense. If I put the 2 pieces on there and put them up to 60, I get maybe 3,000 defense in total. 3,000 defense is a damage reduction of roughly 35%. Okay. I lost all my block defense rate, which is here 17% extra, so I only stay at 15. And I get 12% back, which is good. But it's still 5% less on a block, which is harsh. 5% is quite a lot if you're talking about big damage numbers. And then the block, which is currently at 224 from my 3 pieces, right, where I have 80 there, another 73 here, another 70 here. I could only get, like, let's just remove the lowest piece, right, the 70. So I would have 150. And that's it. There is no bonus effect from here where I get my 390 block. And how block works is literally in comparison to the enemy's level, right? If they hit you, there's a chance that you block. And the higher your block number is, the more likely it is that you block. If I do this on my Garf, my Garf blocks almost every hit from a opponent that has around the same level. This means I get hit for only 30% of the damage, right? Or 33% of the damage after my defense, which is 30%. I could survive a 20,000 hit without any issues. I could survive a 25,000 hit only with 8,000 HP. However, now you take this into the higher level where you have suddenly 20,000 HP, you have 3,000 defense, and if then a 25,000 hit comes in, you only mitigate 30% of the damage, or 35. Suddenly, you're close to dying. And a final hit can kill you. I mean, one final hit will probably not kill you if you survive with more than like 10% of the damage. But the chances are that you will only have like 1,000 or less than 2,000 remaining. And then that unit will come in and crit you to death. because you cannot block. That's simply it. If you do this on your Iris with a low block, she will get nuked. Like currently, a lot of PvP scenarios, people are like, oh, this Iris, she blocked and because she got lucky. They block with this amount. If you remove this, your Iris won't block anymore and you will get destroyed. It doesn't matter if you have another 10,000 HP. Because you will not survive a 25,000 hit. And I will actually build my Otard up again. Like, yes, it costs me a lot. I will probably unequip a lot of other units that have gear just to get her back up. And then I will slap for 25k in PvP again. And I will kill every single guy who has an awakened unit right now. Because they're worthless at the current time. So yeah, that is a money grab in my opinion. Now, we don't have much time left, so the last feature is Signature Force, and I won't go too much in detail because it's very, very easy to explain. Signature Force takes a hero, a general, from a certain nation. So we have 6 generals. Currently only 3 areas are unlocked. And you need one of the generals transcended at least level 1 to unlock this feature in the first place. So you need 2 of them, which is very unlikely that you have right now unless you spend a lot of money. Because you kind of also want to element enhance your generals, because usually those are the ones you use. If you don't use them, they kind of failed at the design that they are the strongest units, right? So chances are you won't have 2 generals to throw away. Then the costs stagger up. So there's 4 levels. So the first one costs you 2, the second one costs you 2, the third one and the fourth one cost you 4 each. Which is a total of 16 generals. 16! Like, I don't have 16 of any unit. Let's be reasonable. For most of the fated or legendary. Like, I don't have 16 Sabrinas. I got maybe 8. I don't have 16 Baylors, maybe 10. But those are the maximum that I've hit with those characters. So, and these are super frequent. They're like more frequent than most other heroes at 0.02% or something. I don't even have 16 Daguses, and they are less rare. Like a lot of legendary characters, I don't have 16 of them. And you cannot tell me that in the next 5 months I will get 16 Schufrakens. Because one of them I want to keep, right? So I need additional 16. You cannot tell me that this is possible in 6 months, in 8 months, in 1 year. Like getting 1 general in a month is possible, but since there's 6, and we will introduce more heroes over time. The journal, like, it takes around 5 months to complete 1 general. Like before, I thought the journal was there to element enhance, and I was like, okay, that is kind of fine. But now that I need 5 generals to element enhance, plus 16 of them to signature force fully up, kind of whack. And I mean, yes, you only need 2 to unlock the feature. But that's still 2 more than I have right now for any of the generals. It's a definite money grab, because this is 100% aimed at the richest of whales who can afford this kind. Okay, so we're running out of time. I don't want to be too negative. There is a bunch of positive things. Like, we got the first 3 new heroes after a long time of playing, after almost 3 months. The first 3 new heroes. The fact that they are only faded, well, those sell the best. I don't expect us to get legendaries or rares that are usable anytime soon. Then we got the mana changes. I like the new mana generation. It is super nice because it allows me to run a little bit more diverse teams. It allows me to run units that I usually would not even consider, like some of the dark units, some of the light units, just because now they have a constant and consistent mana gain. What I don't like is that they removed the break system. It's really taking away the identity of this game, where you had this unique system of breaking an enemy and getting bonus effects like extra crit, defense ignore, for your whole team, right? It wasn't just for one unit. And they removed that without a replacement. I don't mind if features get changed, like the mana system, but removing an identity feature without giving us a proper replacement, because let's be honest, Signature Force with the whole elemental damage is not 100% proper replacement. It's just if you have the money, yes, you can gain extra things. If you don't, then sorry. What else was there in the patch? There was quite a lot. Yeah, right, this nation recruitment system where you get like this on a rotation. But again, this is like extra currency. It's not something that is achievable for anybody. You cannot even buy them currently. Don't make features that are incomplete and release them at a super hype like the Awakening. And don't try to sell us these features as game-changing or game-enhancing, because most of them are unobtainable for 90% of the player base. And if you exclude 90% of your player base from the actual cool things in the game, what kind of game do you have? And don't get me wrong, nobody forces me to awaken my hero, right? It's a bonus. As I mentioned before, there is no content currently available, so there is no reason for me to do that. There is almost no reason to do the element enhance past 2. And I can do that with legendaries. I can do that with lower end faded heroes. I don't have to do it with my generals. But obviously my generals are the ones that I want to power up the most. And we have not only like a few of these systems. The scout system that got introduced. Most players will not use it just because they find either selling the units over time that you need for generating one unit is better, because you're basically putting in, if you're just putting in the units, you're losing a potential gold of 6 million. That's a lot. You're losing potential to use the door to creation in order to generate higher level heroes. So that feature kind of is like, cool. If I use it, it's 4 months down the road. Or if I don't use it, I can get gold. There's no benefit of using that system immediately. Unleash potential. A great system in theory. Bringing your legendaries or rare heroes up to a faded level. But why? Honestly, but why? I've done this with a starter. I'm still not finished because getting solar seals, like at the current rate, I get what? Maybe 600 at the max per day? That's 10 days that I need to always get the max, which I cannot do. So usually I'm hovering around 300. So let's say I take a month because I lose some solar seals at the daily tournament. I lose solar seals at the WOG runs. So a month, I unlock one of the abilities. 2 months and I unlock 2, 3, and I finally finished my hero. And for what? Because my starter was already one-shotting everything that I encountered. And now she one-shots everything even more. Awesome. However, if I get a Rudley, I will use the Rudley. Like even after the after the Unleash, he has better base stats and he has better abilities. Lower mana cost burst. Granted with a little bit lower multiplier, but whatever. And he has an interaction with one of my generals, which can provide very, very useful. Because if you check this, grants a barrier of 50% of the health for 12 turns. And this is for all allies that are marked with command. Now I element enhance my starter or unleash my starter. And what does she get? She gets a bunch of CP and like values that bring her up to a Rudley level. With this having the same multiplier and stuff. But then in the end, she's still not on the same level, right? She's a replacement. So for most people, that also will not play effect. Is the game currently at a state where it needs to release features for the Korean market? And because they have to do that, we're basically in a, hey, have all this stuff that you have no reason to use, that you don't even have the resources for because you didn't play the game for 8 months already. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Have you used any of the features? Have you fallen into any of the traps? Again, I did these on purpose, so I'm not mad that any of those things happened. I'm fine with how they turned out because I was kind of expecting them. But for you who have done it by mistake, let me know in the comments. And what do you in general think about all this feature dump that we get that doesn't really have a proper use? With all that said, it was a pleasure to have you here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, just do it. Why not? There's no reason not to do. I will see you in the next one, and until then, enjoy the grind.